Matt had always felt like he carried a weight that others couldn't begin to understand. His mind was a sprawling labyrinth, filled with twists and turns that made every day a challenge. From the outside, he looked like any other 20-something, mildly disheveled hairstyle, an oversized hoodie he wore as a shield, and a penchant for late-night video games. But within him lay the turmoil of a personality disorder that left him feeling like a stranger in his own skin. His friends often tolerated his quirks, his propensity to retreat into silence, the moments when he would suddenly switch from laughter to tears within the span of a heartbeat. They called him Matt the Quiet or Matt the Mysterious. But inside, Matt felt like a ghost, fluctuating between versions of himself that didn't quite fit. It was as if he were an actor in a play, desperately trying to remember his lines, but often forgetting the character he was supposed to portray. One rainy afternoon, while he was sitting in his favorite corner of the local cafe, absorbed in the warm embrace of a double espresso, life changed for him. She walked in, a whirlwind of warmth and light. Lorna was her name, and she seemed to float into the atmosphere, drawing everyone's eyes to her golden curls and vibrant laughter. She ordered a chai latte, and as the barista called her name, her gaze settled on Matt. "Mind if I join you?" she asked, genuine kindness radiating from her bright hazel eyes. Her voice reminded him of sunlight piercing through a cloud. Matt shrugged, bemused. "Sure, why not?" As they chatted, Lorna's laughter was infectious, and slowly, he found comfort in her presence. She had a way of noticing things most people overlooked: the slight tremor in his hands when he spoke, how his eyes flickered away during moments of vulnerability, and the shadows that seemed to linger in his expressions. Rather than shying away, she leaned in, intrigued, pulling answers from him with a mix of gentle curiosity and compassion. "What's it like, living in your head?" she asked one afternoon, her tone sincere and free of judgment. Matt hesitated, his heart racing. No one had asked him that before. "It's complicated, like being in a house of mirrors. Sometimes I don't even recognize myself. Maybe I can help you find the way out." Her smile was disarming. What developed over the weeks became a friendship woven from raw honesty. Lorna, with her patient heart, listened as Matt shared his experiences with his disorder, the frantic highs of excitement, followed by the heart-wrenching lows that left him gasping for solace. For every chaotic story, she had a listening ear and an understanding nod. Each conversation peeled back layers of his anxiety and fears, revealing the tenderness beneath.
But Lorna was more than just a comforter. She was a dreamer too, with hopes of her own, and Matt admired how she approached life with an openness that seemed effortlessly infectious. He marveled at her bravery in being unabashedly herself, her passion for helping others find their light, no matter how dim it seemed. Matt struggled to accept kindness without feeling undeserving, yet Lorna never wavered in her support. Then, one cool evening beneath the canvas of stars, it happened. As they sat on a park bench, rustling leaves enveloping them in a soft embrace, Matt finally took a deep breath and spoke the words that had been festering within him. "I feel so lost sometimes, like I'm drowning in the chaos of my own mind." Lorna turned towards him, her expression unwavering. "You're not alone, Matt. You're human, and it's okay to feel that way. You have every right to your feelings, and I'm here, ready to face them with you." Her words enveloped him like a warm hug, and for the first time, the weight felt a little lighter. Maybe it was because he was no longer facing his fears in solitude. Maybe it was the way Lorna had this magical ability to make him feel safe, understood, and accepted. As autumn faded to winter, their bond deepened. Matt began to recognize the signs of his disorder, acknowledging the shadows without letting them define him. Lorna's commitment reminded him of the flickering candlelight in the dark, a steady reminder that light could coexist with shadows. She helped him carve out his narrative, one with ups and downs, emotions wrapped in vibrant colors rather than gray. In this chapter of his life, Matt discovered that he didn't have to navigate the labyrinth alone. With Lorna by his side, he started to see the beauty within the chaos. The pieces of who he was began to take shape, not as a jigsaw puzzle he had to solve, but as a living tapestry, a collection of experiences, both light and dark, woven together. Days turned into months, and while the struggle with his disorder continued, Matt found himself more resilient. He was learning not just to accept the darkness but to embrace the light that came from his companionship with Lorna. Life was still complex, but it was no longer solely his burden to bear. In her friendship, Matt found not just comfort but inspiration, a reminder that even when shadows loom large, there is always a flicker of light waiting to guide you home. And as he walked through the labyrinth of his mind, hand in hand with Lorna, he knew he wasn't searching for an exit, he was creating a beautiful story full of hope, growth, and love.